been nearly 3 weeks of protests across the country over police brutality and racial inequality, and that inequality has only been magnified by the coronavirus pandemic, which has disproportionately impacted communities of color. Compounding the racial inequities is the economic crisis spurred by the pandemic. The former acting U.S. Secretary of Labor, Seth Harris, is joining us right now. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for joining us. How much does economic inequality in our country play into this broader protest movement that we're all witnessing?
It's an incredibly important backdrop for the protests that we're seeing. Although the protests are focused on police violence against communities of color, the backdrop is significant disparities in income, significant disparities in unemployment, significant disparities with respect to housing ownership, respect to wealth. The COVID crisis really disclosed to a lot of people the situation of African Americans in our economy, where African Americans were more likely to be displaced because they were more likely to be in the industries that were hit hardest by the COVID pandemic. They were also more likely to be essential workers who were forced to work during the COVID crisis and therefore were more likely to get infected and die as a result of the virus. So the disparities are there. They have been there for a long time, and they persist in this pandemic crisis.
Are there any immediate economic policies, Mr. Secretary, that can address this systemic racism?
There's a tremendous amount that we need to do, Wolf. Raising the minimum wage would benefit African Americans disproportionately. Overtime protections, more unions. African Americans disproportionately benefit when there's a union in the workplace. Fair housing would make a big difference, significantly expanding, for example, the public housing stock in our country. But also a focus on equal opportunity, much more aggressive discrimination enforcement, more expansive laws to guard against discrimination. All of those things would make a difference. But the biggest change that we need to make right now, because we're in an economic recession, potentially heading for a depression, is significant investments in the parts of the economy where people are being hurt most, in the public sector, in those essential jobs that we've all been applauding every day, but really have not been making an investment in. Significant investments in manufacturing and transportation, other industries where African Americans have been able to claw their way into the middle class. Those kinds of big systemic investments, changes in the way our economy works, would make a tremendous difference.
Well, there's talk now, as you know, Mr. Secretary, of another $2 trillion economic package focusing in on manufacturing, among other things. But do you think there's bipartisan support right now to take the steps you're advocating?
I don't, and that's unfortunate. The House Democrats passed a $3 trillion package that I think would do an immense amount to help people who've been most disadvantaged by the pandemic. But it will only really address the problems that are caused by the pandemic. It's not going to get at the larger systemic challenges that we face. And in the Senate Majority Leader McConnell has really made no move to propose any additional help. For example, the Democrats have proposed $1 trillion for local and state governments. Senator McConnell has said that he doesn't want to see any additional money going to state governments. He'd rather see them declare bankruptcy. That will cause immense pain in communities around the country, and it will result in even more public sector workers losing their jobs. 1.5 million public sector workers have lost their jobs in the last 2 months. We need to recover from that if we're going to see the economy recover overall.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Secretary. Thanks so much for joining us. Seth Harris, the former acting Labor Secretary. Appreciate it very much. Good luck.
Thanks, Wolf.
All right, coming up.